SNAP food assistance is caught up in the federal government shutdown. And now in the courts, President Trump is appealing a ruling that requires the government to fully fund SNAP checks quickly. But while all that happens in D.C., the lines at food pantries in the North Country are longer. People who rely on SNAP are squeezing pennies to get by. That's today's story of the day.
Support for Story of the Day comes from Clarkson University, offering over 95 programs of study with campuses in the Hudson Valley, Central, and Northern New York. More at clarkson.edu.
Hey, I'm David Sommerstein. It's Friday, November 7th. First up, North Country Congresswoman Elise Stefanik has officially announced her run for governor. The Republican from Saratoga County published her first campaign video earlier this morning.
Elise Stefanik will clean up Kathy Hochul's catastrophe and restore New York's greatness. Elise Stefanik for governor. It's time to save New York.
Stefanik has been making her rounds today on conservative media like Fox and Friends and on AM radio in New York City and Albany. In a statement, a spokesperson for Governor Kathy Hochul called Stefanik a sellout and accused her of gutting health care and cutting funding for schools and hospitals. Stefanik may not be the only Republican running to replace Hochul. Earlier this week, recently reelected Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman told the New York Post he'll meet with GOP leaders to discuss his own gubernatorial run. The Republican primary is June 23rd. Meanwhile, Governor Hochul is facing a Democratic Party challenge from her Lieutenant Governor, Antonio Delgado. Millions of Americans have been stretching their dollars even farther this year as the Trump administration makes cuts to social safety net programs. Now, many folks have even less money to pay for groceries and heating bills amid the federal government shutdown. Emily Russell reports on how folks in the North Country are coping.
Packages of food are piled up on buffet tables inside the Adult Center in Saranac Lake. There are loaves of bread, gallons of milk, packages of meat.
You can take 2 sandwich meats, or you can take a sandwich meat and a cheese.
Maureen McDowell guides a few young women through the food line, listing off additional items they can bring home.
A produce, 2 breads, and a sweet.
For 2 hours every Tuesday, this place opens its doors to anyone in need. McDowell volunteers alongside Ivana Forsyth. Even before the shutdown, when people were getting regular benefits from SNAP, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, Forsyth says the food here was and is really needed.
Even if they get SNAP, a lot of times they don't have enough food for their families to get through. So this is an extra place that they can go to help them out.
With SNAP benefits in limbo, Forsyth says there's been a 10% increase in the number of people here each week. Pat Vaughn stopped by to see if there's any food she might want. Vaughn is not enrolled in SNAP and thinks people should be less reliant on food stamps.
I conserve and I save and I home can, I do all kinds of stuff. I don't wait for handout. I mean, I'm here looking to see what's there, but I normally just do my own thing.
In his second term, President Trump has pushed to cut social safety net programs like SNAP and Medicaid. About a third of people in the North Country are enrolled in Medicaid. Meanwhile, a majority of people around the region voted for Trump, including Vaughn. She supports the president's efforts to shrink federal subsidies.
The government wasn't supposed to be here to take over and live your life for you. They're just a drop back if you need something, and it's supposed to be short term.
The Trump administration was ordered to pay partial SNAP benefits this month, though a recent analysis by the Center for Budget and Policy Priorities found that more than 1 million recipients still may not receive any money for food stamps. Mary Lorette works at a gas station in Saranac Lake and says she sees folks come in often who can't even afford a cup of coffee. Lorette lives in Lake Clear and believes the U.S. should do more to support hardworking Americans.
In most countries, they take care of the food, the education, and the health care. In our country, that's basic. It should be taken care of, and it's not. It doesn't make any sense. We're one of the richest countries here. I want my tax dollars to go to these people that work.
Ben Sitz is stopping by the gas station for a cup of coffee. He grew up in Saranac Lake and thinks President Trump is trying to sow division and distract the country from the widening wealth gap in America.
I think a lot of the times it's easy to point the finger at the people you see around you who are on SNAP and food stamps and stuff like that and say, oh, they're the issue. But, if you look at how Trump is handling this, he's a demagogue through and through.
At a food shelter in St. Lawrence County, Florence Wright collects some groceries for the week. She's on SNAP and HEAP, the Home Energy Assistance Program. Wright and her husband, who live in Colton, usually get money to help pay their heating bills through HEAP. But the Trump administration is withholding that money during the shutdown. Wright isn't sure how they'll cover the costs.
We burn fuel oil. What are we going to do if the HEAP don't go through? 1 tank of fuel is half of our income a month.
About 6 million households around the country received HEAP benefits last year. The program was supposed to start accepting New York applicants earlier this week, but now it's on pause because of the shutdown. James Burton from Saranac Lake is worried about how that will impact the tens of thousands of households in this region on HEAP.
It's starting to get cold. We are in the North Country, and they're going to suffer.
Burton is sitting in his car outside a gas station in the village. He believes President Trump's priorities are misguided, particularly his plans to renovate the White House while so many Americans are struggling to make ends meet.
If they stop building the ballroom and put that money into the community, especially communities like this, we would be okay.
Many communities around the North Country and across the U.S. have been stepping up to help low-income residents, but there's just no matching the billions of dollars that the federal government pays out through SNAP and HEAP and other programs each month. Emily Russell, North Country Public Radio, Saranac Lake.
It's Friday, so let's squeeze in a bonus story today. The spruce tree destined for Rockefeller Center was cut down yesterday in the town of East Greenbush near Albany. Samantha Simmons with the New York Public News Network was there and sent this audio postcard.
Judy Russ and her son Liam were running around the family property Thursday morning, jumping from supporting Rockefeller Center crew members to talking with family, neighbors, and reporters. Russ says the tree has been on her late husband's family property since the 1920s, making her son the fifth generation to experience the grandeur of the 75-foot-tall Norway spruce. Russ says this is an exciting moment, not a sad one.
This has been our backdrop, that we've had birthday parties here, weddings here, all kinds of celebrations, so it's just nice that our family tree gets to become the world's Christmas tree.
The holiday tradition at Rockefeller Center began more than 8 decades ago and is billed as a quintessential New York experience. Russ's son's elementary school class came to watch, too. Russ says having his friends there to share in the moment was likely the best part of his day.
He thought it was so cool that they were all here. He asked to jump out the window to say hi to them. He's just really excited to share all this with his friends in the community.
The tree took all of 5 minutes to cut, but only after a week and a half of tying up branches, cleaning it up, and further preparing the tree for its more than 150-mile journey to Rockefeller Center. Eric Posey is Rockefeller Center's head gardener.
This morning we came and we were prepared. We set up everything. We preset some of the hookups yesterday. And when we came this morning, it was easier because we had a little wind today. We were watching out for the wind, but we had a perfect time frame to do it right when we planned to do it. So everything worked out great. We made a great cut and picked it up and laid it on the truck.
The Norway spruce will arrive at Rockefeller Center Saturday. It will be escorted down to New York City, driving under 40 miles per hour for the safety of onlookers and the tree itself. The tree, which has the largest cones of any spruce, will be decorated with more than 50,000 lights and topped with a Swarovski star. Millions are expected to visit once it's in place in Midtown Manhattan. The lights will be switched on December 3rd during a live broadcast of Christmas in Rockefeller Center, and the lights will remain on until mid-January. Maureen Kirsch has lived in East Greenbush for many decades. Specifically how many, she wouldn't say. But she says a tree coming from her community is special to her.
That's cool because everybody in the world sees it, yeah.
Donor Russ says while her backyard is going to look relatively empty for a long time, Rockefeller Center is donating 2 Norway spruces, and a local farm has also reached out. After the holidays, the 45-foot wide tree will be milled into lumber for Habitat for Humanity, something Russ embraces.
It's really exciting knowing that Habitat for Humanity is going to get the wood after. The next family gets to build a home and make their own Christmas traditions and holiday traditions just like we did here.
For the New York Public News Network, I'm Samantha Simmons.
Music today by Eddie Lawrence of Saranac Lake and Michael Hart and Ramon Vasquez of Malone. Have a super weekend. I'm David Summerstein, North Country Public Radio.